Europe is now considering its own nuclear deterrent as trust in the US wavers and fears of Russia grow. Europe is currently reliant on the so-called US nuclear umbrella through Article 5 of the NATO alliance. That says an attack on one is an attack on all. But President Trump's hostility to the alliance and his wavering support of Ukraine has exposed for many how vulnerable Europe is to shifting US attitudes. So if the US can no longer be relied upon, that could leave Europe facing Russia alone, with Moscow having the world's largest nuclear arsenal. For the first time, European capitals are discussing if they can have their own nuclear deterrent. But is that idea feasible? Between them, the UK and France have about 500 nuclear warheads, but Britain is dependent on US missiles for its Trident programme. France does have a fully sovereign deterrent, but it pales in comparison to the size of the US arsenal with its 2,800 deployed warheads. And then there's the question of cost. For many European nations, having their own nuclear programme is simply unaffordable. So is a Franco-British nuclear umbrella realistic? The two countries have been holding discussions about how to better coordinate their nuclear forces, but for many across Europe, NATO's Article 5 is the only real game in town. And NATO has been doubling down on its message of unity. Secretary General Mark Rutte insists the US remains committed to the alliance as he seeks to keep President Trump on side. But leaders across the continent are having to face up to a harsh reality. It can no longer be assumed that the US will act as a guarantor of European security.